Hi Aquarius, welcome to your March 2020 Astrology 33 reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you interested in booking a personal reading with me, I'm actually going to be taking a bit of a break from those. I should start them back up again around April, possibly even by the time I post the April videos. So if that's the case, I'll definitely make an update during those videos, or if it's going to be earlier than that, just keep an eye out on the community section of my channel where I'll make an update there. As far as what we have in front of us, we have a Celtic cross spread as always. Then we have a couple of oracle cards we'll take a look at after that, and also a mudra card. So getting started with the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the Four of Cups. So this is actually Cancer energy, which for you guys, that's your sixth house of work and daily routines. So for some of you, this can be around work, where maybe you guys feel a bit disappointed with your work environment. For some of you, this can be your home environment too, where you could be a bit disappointed with it, possibly a combination of the two. But what I see here is this is an energy that can be a bit frustrating, because it's like you have that desire to change something up, but you're not quite sure where to start. So if we see the artwork here, there's three cups placed in front of this person. They have their arms crossed, clearly don't look like they're happy with what's being offered. There's a fourth one on the way. And the message there is, yeah, you don't look like you're pleased with that, right? But at the same time, are you going out after what you do want, right? So the universe will just keep bringing you more of the same, because you're not really making it clear that you're not going to accept that. So that could be the energy that's at play there. And you guys do have the North Node moving through that sign for you as well. So there could definitely be some change there, or maybe you might realize that you've started to outgrow an environment, whether it be a work environment, home environment, or again, possibly even a combination of the two. For some of you, this can be around a relationship as well, but I'm not picking up on that as heavily. If that were the case, I feel like this might be someone who's, been trying to make offers to you, and you just haven't seemed to be interested in them. All right, in the challenger obstacle position, we have the World card. So with this coming up in the challenge position, it could just be saying that the challenge is to realize that you have grown or gone as far as you can within that environment. Again, like I said, whether it's a home environment, work environment, and maybe you just need to branch out a bit more. Maybe you need some room to grow, and the environment that you're in right now currently isn't providing you the opportunity. So if this coming up in a challenge position, that could be what it's saying, is that, and maybe that's the difficult part for you guys, right? Seeing that, like I said, that Four of Cups energy has that vibe of where something needs to change, but you're not quite sure where to start. So for some of you, this could even just be an indicator for you guys to maybe get out and travel a bit, even if not anything huge, since we do see the World card there. It doesn't necessarily have to be international, but maybe just get out a bit more and see what else is out there. And again, that could even be in a work environment too, right? Where you might just go job searching, and that could either turn out one of two ways, where you might see, oh, this job would be a way better fit for me. Or you come to the realization, okay, well, at least as of right now, there's nothing else better out there. And just sometimes coming to that realization could help you appreciate where you are a bit more. All right, in the foundation position, we have the Tower card. So pretty harsh card to have in the foundation position, quite frankly. But what this can be saying is one of those things where if that description I was providing you guys fits your situation, where you just feel that there needs to be a change, right? Like you feel, like I said, that your environment's growing stagnant in some way, there's no room for growth. This could just be saying that something might come along to basically nudge you in that direction toward growth. And now, what I always say when you do see the Tower card, it could be one of those things where it's usually a message to say you might want to get the ball rolling yourself, or the universe will do it for you, right? And usually it's more comfortable when you're the one who enacts the change. But given that this is in the foundation position, it could even just be that this is a realization that you've already come to, right? And then maybe that's been the shock to the system for you guys, where you're like, okay, I'm coming to this realization that, as long as I'm still in this environment, I'm not going to be able to grow the way I'd like to, right? So that could be what's at play there. But for those of you who are a little concerned with this card coming up in the foundation, what I usually say to people is you could grab some black tourmaline for protection. And I mean, I do have to say, given the surrounding cards, it doesn't look like it's going to be anything that has a huge impact on you. And we'll get to that as we get a little bit later now in the reading. But if if you'd like to be better safe than sorry, right, that's what I would recommend. Just pick up some black tourmaline, carry it around with you. All right, in the past position, we have the Hierophant. So this is actually Taurus energy here, which for you guys is your 4th house. And given that this is coming up in the past position, you know, when you guys had the new moon in your sign, it actually squared Uranus in the sign of Taurus, and you guys are ruled by Uranus, so there could have been an impact there where you might have realized, okay, I might need to get out of this environment. And what this could be saying here is that maybe you guys might have felt obligated to stay in that environment, right? So again, maybe you had family ties there where you're like, okay, I have to stay here and stick with my family, right? Or you just had a belief system, or this might have been a company that you've been with for a long time, so you felt some sort of a sense of obligation to them in that regard, right? But whatever the case, I feel like that can be shifting for you, because in the present position, we have the Death card. So this is actually the major arcana card for Scorpio, so the exact opposite of Taurus. And that could just be saying, especially since for you guys, Scorpio is your 10th house of career and social status, that could just be saying that you maybe realize, okay, well, maybe if there's a certain set of beliefs or, again, an environment that I felt obligated to continue along that path with, you know, now you're choosing to change that. I do have to say, for some of you, this can't even be world beliefs, too, you know, whether it be a religious belief or just certain beliefs you might have grown up with, because that's what Cancer 4th house energy could point to as well, right? So maybe you're just coming to this realization that maybe things you've grown up believing your whole life, maybe they just don't fit anymore in your current life. So that could be what this is pointing to as well. So for some of you, shifting there. So for example, just a generic example, maybe you guys have been very religious your whole lives, right? Like traditional religion, and now you're just becoming, you're kind of leaving that behind and going more of a spiritual route. That's just a generic example, but that's how these energies could play out where you see that kind of shift. And of course, naturally, that could be a tower moment in that regard, right? Oh, okay, I've, you know, followed this religion for 30 years, and now all of a sudden I'm, you know, totally changing my viewpoint, right? So that could be what's at play there. And with this representing the Death card, I would say, or rather with the Death card representing your 10th house, this can be pointing to you guys deciding to leave a job behind as well. Like I said, maybe this is a career path that you've been raised to think, oh, if I get this type of job, I'm going to be successful, right? And maybe you just get there, you get that achievement, you get that degree, you get that certification, but it's not emotionally fulfilling, right? With the 4 of Cups. And now you might decide, okay, well, I have to do what's best for me and move forward and, you know, onto a new path. And I do have to say, Scorpio is the natural ruler of the 8th house too, and you guys are actually going to have a full moon in your 8th house of Virgo this month. So as far as a timeline, that could be when you might come to this realization or make this decision. Just wanted to put that out there. That full moon is going to be either at the very end of the first week of March or possibly early in the second week. So somewhere within that timeline. Near future position, we have the 6 of Swords. So this is actually Aquarius energy, the middle 10 degrees of Aquarius. So for those of you with your placement there, this might resonate with you a little bit more. But this card, the generic description of this is usually moving on to calmer waters. But yeah, I definitely see this as, like I said, for some of you, it could be as simple as just traveling to see what else is out there, right? Like, okay, maybe I'm a bit bored where I live right now. Let me see if there's a place that would be better suited to me, right? Or maybe even that's it. Maybe you live in a very strict environment, right? Or you have in the past, and now you just want to branch out where you're like, okay, this is just a restrictive environment for me. I need to see what else is out there. Because, I mean, you know, you guys, Aquarius, are known to be very individualistic, and, you know, maybe you have a set of beliefs that don't fit within the environment you're currently in. So you just might want to see if there's a place that would be more comfortable for you. But that's what I'm seeing there primarily. All right, in the position of your influence towards the situation, we have the 9 of Pentacles. So this is actually more Virgo energy here. And again, like I said, for you guys, that's your 8th house. And this is why I feel like whatever that tower moment is, I don't necessarily think it's going to have a big negative impact on you, because this is a pretty independent, happy energy here. So for me to see this coming up, and this is actually going to be the full moon in Virgo is going to be in those middle 10 degrees too. So this could just be you guys liberating yourselves in some way, shape, or form. So like I said, whether that be from a work environment, maybe a home environment, or just a belief system. This could represent you actually just taking that break. It could be as simple, it doesn't have to be as huge as I've been making it out to sound all this time too. It could be as simple as you guys just get burnt out with your job and you need to take a vacation. And this could just be taking that time, right? So could be as simple as that for somebody. You just getting out in nature, taking a break, actually enjoying the benefits of the successes that you have had for a bit. All right, in the environment position, we have the Three of Pentacles. So this is actually Capricorn energy here. And for you guys, that's your 12th house. So this can just be saying that the energy at play has really had you planning what your next steps would be. So maybe this is, you've been thinking about this for a while. Like, okay, I want to build a stable foundation, right? Maybe you feel like you just haven't been able to get there where you're currently at. And you might come to the realization that, again, maybe you reached a ceiling where you're currently at, whether it's a belief system, group of friends, place of employment. You can just realize, okay, well, this isn't going to get me to where I ultimately want to go, right? So this could just be what's on your mind. Or for some of you, this can represent that once you do branch out with this coming up in an environment position, you might find some, good groups to collaborate with, possibly, again, a new employer, possibly for those of you who are shifting jobs, where you feel like you could actually build something with a little bit more stability behind it. All right, in the hopes or fears position, we have the Queen of Swords. So this is actually the court card for Libra, but I mean, this could clearly represent your energy as well, since you're also an air sign. But with this coming up here, this is, to me, saying that you're hoping for balance. So again, like I said, if you just feel like what you've been putting in whatever area of life hasn't been equal to what you're putting out, this could just be saying that you're hoping to change that, right? I do have to say Libra is ninth house energy for you guys too, so that could certainly point to, again, maybe some of you just want to, if not move overseas, possibly at least travel overseas for a bit, and maybe even just interact with people overseas. So maybe you're, like I said, for some of you might be changing a belief system, so maybe you want to go to the place where that belief system you're changing to now originates from, or possibly this could just be saying, let's say you have an online business and now you're trying to branch out and see if you could offer that service in different countries, right? It could be as simple as that. All right, and then the outcome position, we see the Page of Wands. So for this to come in the outcome position, I do see this definitely representing you guys actually taking action. This doesn't necessarily represent any particular fire sign. It just represents more of the fire element in general. So for you guys, this could definitely represent you actually going from thinking about traveling somewhere to actually traveling somewhere, possibly moving to a new environment. And at the very least, like I said, seeing what else is out there. So like I said, for some of you, it could just be as simple as, oh, let me look at some other areas to live. And maybe you realize, okay, well, that area isn't what I thought it would be, so maybe I am a little bit happier where I am than I thought, right? That's a huge theme with Uranus energy, especially with Uranus transits. It's usually that type of energy that will egg you on to try something, because usually just the what ifs are worse than actually trying it. Like sometimes it's better off for you to say, well, I've been thinking about moving to this city for 5 years. Let me actually go visit the city for a week, see if it feels like a good fit, right? And either it is, and you're like, all right, I'm definitely going to make the move, or spend a week out there, you're like, okay, this wasn't all it was cracked up to be. I'm actually happier where I'm at. So just by making that move, it could help you appreciate where you currently are even more, So that's where it could be better to actually just embrace that energy. And I think you guys probably know that more than most, given that Uranus is your ruler, of course, but I just wanted to at least mention how I see this energy coming across. All right, moving on to the Oracle cards. First one we have, and also I forgot to mention, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Cups. So yeah, for some of you, this can represent romance, but I didn't get a huge vibe of that, quite frankly. But what's interesting is this represents the last 10 degrees of Pisces, and that's also technically the end of the zodiac, so it represents completions too, just like the World card we see there. And then obviously we're going to be in Pisces season and we'll be in those degrees around the middle of March. So maybe there's some significance there. All right. But yeah, back to your oracle card. We have TikTok. There's the artwork, and the number is 30. We'll see what that has to say. Okay, it says timelessness, divine timing, immeasurable time. The oracle's message: when humans created time, everything changed and contracted. People have come to look at life in a linear way, imagining that the past is behind them and the future ahead of them. But what if that isn't true at all? What if everything, creativity, beauty, chaos, and order, were happening now in a glorious timelessness? You have all the time in the world to co-create the life you desire, so release your agenda. Let go of your need to shape each moment to your expectations, knowing that what is yours will never be withheld from you. Miracles are here right now and always show up when you need them, right on time. So definitely an interesting message there, and it does seem to at least pick up on that same vibe that I have, where there could be a bit of restlessness where you guys, where you might feel like you're in a stagnant energy right now. So hopefully that resonated with you. The relationship message says love, the fulfillment of desire, and even the body's reproductive cycles have their own timetable. Some things are preordained and cannot be coerced. Everything has its season, its divine and appropriate timing, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. Remember that you always have enough time for love, to find it, to nurture it, to give and receive it. Its clock is eternal and ticks according to the beating of your heart in perfect rhythm. Isn't that wonderful to know? Love is always right on time. So I do have to say, like I said, I didn't pick up on a huge relationship vibe, but let's look at this one way too, where maybe those cups represent dating prospects where you live, right? And you might start to get frustrated, like, okay, none of these people are a good match for me, right? And maybe with the Nine of Pentacles here, this is referred to oftentimes as the single lady energy. So no matter your gender, this could just be saying that maybe some of you, it's saying that you should embrace that energy, right? And when the time is right, that stable connection that you might be looking for might come along with the Three of Pentacles in the environment position. So hopefully that resonated with you guys. Okay, the prosperity message says your prosperity is co-created by your endeavors as they occur in human-made time and the eternal efforts of your most important manifestation partner, spirit, in a divine, measureless time. So keep doing what you're doing. Stay positive and make a commitment to remain in high vibration thoughts and feelings. If you heed the message of this card, it will seem as if you will align with your highest calling and your highest good in no time at all, like magic. So what's all the fuss about not having enough time? The prosperous life that is yours will never pass you by. So definitely an interesting message there too. Hopefully that resonated with you guys. And then the next oracle card we have is Vulture Spirit. Nothing is wasted. There's the artwork for that, and the number is 63. This is from the Spirit Animal Oracle deck. Okay, it says what seems hideous has its own beauty, and the recycling and repurposing the vulture does is as important as any other activity in nature that supports the cycle of life. Vulture Spirit's message is that nothing is to be wasted, for nature sees value in everything that exists. What seems rotten and ugly has the potential to be transmuted into something beneficial, and you are reminded that any suffering you have experienced has not gone to waste. Wisdom and understanding that arose from the experience are talismans that will serve you on your journey to wherever you go. What is decaying is only changing form and will fertilize seeds you wish to plant, turning that which passed away into the substance that will support new growth. All that you might wish to deny or discard has value and can be repurposed or reintegrated into the new you that you are becoming and the new life path you are dreaming into being. No pain was in vain and no experience was wasted, for we have the power to use it to co-create something far better. This is the miracle in your partnership with Spirit. So definitely an interesting message there, especially when it referenced reintegrated into the new you that you are becoming and the new life that where to go the new life that you're dreaming into being. So for some of you, that can represent what I was saying, that shift there where maybe you feel like you guys have outgrown a certain set of circumstances and are trying to change things up. It could just be saying that even if you can't make the move now, right, maybe that's where the frustration is, where you know that you need to move somewhere but you can. It could just be saying that even this time in between, as you're getting to the point waiting for when you can, is still going to prove to be valuable in the long run. So hopefully that resonated with you guys. All right, and the last thing we have is a mudra card for you guys, and the card you got is the Kapittha mudra. There it is there, and the keyword for it is creativity. Okay, I'll just leave this up for a bit in case you guys wanted to pause it or take a screenshot to read what it has to say. But it says, can be used as a tool for sexual healing, releasing guilt and shame around sexuality, increases sensitivity and receptivity, stimulates healthy libido, opens the connection between the pelvis and heart, expands feelings of devotion and loving kindness. Well, I do have to say this actually does fit the theme of the 8th house full moon you guys are going to have, so there's that. But if that sounds like something you think would be beneficial, I will put the name of that mudra in the description of the video as always. We'll wrap up there, guys, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.